Still speaking at the London Embassy. John Casaretto is the founder and president of BlackCert, a cybersecurity company. He joins me live from Denver to discuss the CIA leak, cyber warfare, and privacy. So, John, the White House and CIA said Americans should be troubled by this Wikileaks disclosure. Should they be worried?
I think there's been a real problem here, that a big exposure in terms of what the CIA's capabilities from a cybersecurity perspective and their offensive tactics that they use. And it's an organization that, this is a component of the activities that they execute. And, there's just a lot of information that's here. And what's really interesting about it is this is only 1% of the total data, supposedly, that Wikileaks has. So there's a lot of information that's still to come out if he chooses to release that. And, there's just many ramifications, I think, for the intelligence community to consider when it comes to these tools.
So a lot of questions here. Julian Assange is still speaking. He called this break in security incompetent, that the CIA lost control of its cyber weapons. How do you react to that?
I would be in agreement with that. I mean, when you consider, again, that this is just one little piece and all of the controversy that's called into question here, there's just, you have to consider how much of that data, the access, the level, it's very, very high up. Why was it in one place? Who had that access and how did it get out? Allegedly, this information has been traded in certain circles and other people have had it. So it's not clear whether WikiLeaks has full awareness of how it was gathered, but we're going to, ideally, at the end of this investigation, find out exactly how this got out. And, that's the biggest embarrassment, I believe. Not the fact that the agency has these tools for monitoring and doing these different activities. These are what spies do. This is what they do. We expect that. It's the fact that, that this information was lost. This is totally different. I've heard some people equate this to the Snowden affair and the fact that the NSA was collecting all this information from phone calls and internets and chats and things like that. This is a whole different level, essentially. But, and that's really the big question, because that was a different level at that point in time. And this is specifically about our abilities to act as a country and to monitor foreigners that are here and across the waters and so on.
Well, you mentioned some important things: access, security. We have about a minute left. So if the CIA already knew about this hack since 2016, how is it that they don't know who was behind it and what exactly was taken?
That's a good question. And it shows that there's some very big issues in terms of their security, in terms of how they were able to retrace and do forensic tracing of who had access to that information and how it got out. And I think one of the big things that the trail will probably indicate, that there's been some of this erasing, such as in the Snowden case, where there was, elimination of records and things that could be forensically traced. And that's going to be, I think that's going to be the thing that unlocks this thing, and they find out exactly what happened. But clearly, the security protocols are an issue here, and I think that's the biggest concern to the United States.